A lot of fun, dirt cheap. Why would it have not been on the list? Hey folks, welcome back to Bullets and Brass. Today we're talking about the top selling guns, new, not total, but just new guns on GunBroker last month, just November 2021, new guns. And we're going to skip a couple categories just because I don't know enough about them in terms of the market, but also in the sake of for the sake of brevity. My first run through on this video got crazy long and stupid, so this is a reshoot with a better microphone setup, and we're going to see how it goes. Move the microphone directly in front of myself. There we go. Hopefully that sounds better than the intro. So you're not going to look at my face for most of this. This is going to be a screen share like this. Let's talk about it, because we're going to start with semi-auto pistols, and no surprises on the first few. Glock 19, if it wasn't in the top 3, it was a shortage of production. This is absolutely one of the #1 selling guns since inception. What else is there to say? The Springfield Hellcat kind of surprises me, not so much that it's so popular, but because production was high enough to get on that list. Certainly, if this was a total, new and used, I don't think it would have been in the top 3. However, new only, I guess they've got production numbers up there, and it's there. Glock 43X, again, no surprises, great concealed carry gun. Kimber Micro 9 surprises me, mostly because I didn't realize they made that many of them. Great little carry gun, but for the current market, for a lot of new shooters, this is a less than ideal choice. And I would have guessed that this would have been like 10th on the list, even behind the Springfield equivalent. There's a Springfield EDM that I would have, if you had asked me, I would have sworn would have been way higher than the Kimber. Is what it is. Wouldn't have thought either one of them would be in the top 5. Again, this could be just because of what's available. Let's keep that in mind. The way the market is right now, if you manage to ship product in this category, you are going to sell it. So if Kimber managed to ship more of them than Springfield did, and also we're talking GunBroker, not in-store sales. So maybe Kimber Micro 9s are more popular on GunBroker and the Springfields are more popular in store. And then you have the Springfield Armory 1911, and they don't clarify. They don't say which version this is. I'm guessing it's like a bolt thing if it doesn't get put into another category, which means that, yeah, it makes sense at number 5. Could have been higher, could have been lower, whatever. They ship a lot of them. They're very popular. Great guns. Revolvers. Again, not really any surprises. More surprises that it made the list due to production. The Colt Python. I thought they were still having, production, not issues, but limitations. They were only producing so many of them at a time, and I thought they were behind. I could have sworn they were still having issues meeting demand. Well, apparently they're meeting demand well enough to be #1 on the list. This is going to be a very popular gun for a long time. The price is reasonable for a gun with a lot of demand. Whether it's justified is a whole other story. Ruger LCR, no surprises. If you can produce enough of them, you'll sell them. The current market is heavily pushed toward new shooters and particularly concealed carry. We're going to see that continuing. So yeah, no surprises on the LCR. The Heritage Rough Rider, again, no surprises. A lot of fun, dirt cheap. Why would it have not been on the list? Taurus Judge shouldn't be on the list because it's an absolute abomination. However, they sell a ton of them. Taurus 856, perfectly good revolver, snub nose, small grip, small cylinder. If you're looking for a concealed carry gun and you don't want to spend the astronomical prices that Smith & Wesson wants, there you go. Oops, there you go. Same kind of gun as the LCR, not a shrouded hammer, but it is what it is. They're going for like $300. Now the rifles, I think it's important to remember we're talking GunBroker, and that we're talking individual brand and model. Because you notice there's only one AR on this list, and it's the Ruger AR-556. Now, we all know that the number one selling semi-automatic rifle on the market today is the AR-15. So why is it number 5? And the answer is because there's a million brands making the same product. I'm amazed that the Ruger made the list. You've got every brand imaginable, and they're all being counted separately here. So yeah, they don't make the list because they're different products under different names, and you're spreading that out, even though as a group, they dominated. So Ruger Mini 14, I mean, it is what it is. I honestly would have thought the Ruger 1022 would have been number 1, but maybe they're just not making as many. And a lot of them are sold used. So yeah, Ruger Mini 14, I think that one of the reasons this dominates is price. And the other is, if you're in a state where you can't have an AR-15, very often the design of a Mini 14 lets you go with that. Ruger PC carbine. I think that they sold a ton of these because they sold a ton of these. I think that they produced a bunch of these. They are marketing them aggressively. They are priced competitively. However, this is a competitive market. And I think that what we're seeing is that a certain percentage of the market is buying the Ruger, and a certain percentage is spread out among many other firearms. And I think that the Ruger is not necessarily dominating overall so much as they are dominating everybody else in the market individually. So even though they're not the dominant player overall, they're the biggest of them, just like the AR-15s. Kel-Tec Sub 2000, okay. This gets into a theory I have that I have no information to back this up, but I'm thinking that a lot of people, because remember, GunBroker is not your average generic shooter goes into the store and buys a gun. They do not go to GunBroker. GunBroker is for people like us who watch YouTube videos about guns. They go shopping for a specific thing. They have thought about it. They, educated or not, thought through carefully or not, they are not a random person walking into the store and going, I need a gun. So that's something to keep in mind here. I think the Sub 2000 is on this list because I think people are buying them as a backup, as something to tuck away in the truck, on their ATV, in the trunk of their car, just as a, oh shit, extra. So moving on, bolt action rifles. We're gonna start going quicker because you're starting to get lower and lower volume here. Ruger American, it's a whole category. Absolutely does not surprise me. It's number 1. In fact, I would be willing to bet that the 1 and 2 here, Savage Arms 110 and Ruger American, any of their individual models probably would still be 1 and 2. Moving on, Savage Arms 93. This is a little 22. Again, a lot of new shooters, a lot of people, looking to expand their arsenal. And if you're a new shooter and you jumped in with an AR-15, say, and you've realized that shooting your AR-15 is not cheap in today's market, yeah, going and buying a 22 makes a lot of sense. Ruger precision rifle, in this case, the rimfire and then the regular, same reasoning. For the price, for what they do, these are extremely attractive options. You can argue that there are, other versions are better, but the Ruger is the dominant player in the market. They have the distribution, they have the recognition, and they do the job. I mean, it's that simple. Lever actions. No surprises other than that a Marlin didn't make the list, and I think that's because Marlins were still playing catch up in terms of production. Because remember, when you produce versus when it hits the shelves, there's a lag there. And I think that we will see Marlin on the list for December or at least January. Henry repeating arms lever. They don't specify, but given the other ones they list, I'm guessing this is all their standard offerings. I don't know if the X is included. I have a bunch of people who've told me they bought X's lately. Don't know. The big boy, again, no shocker. The Rossi R92, I'm surprised, but not. If you're looking for a rifle like that, there are only so many options, and most of them are extremely expensive. The Rossi is a good option at a less than ridiculous price. What are they going for these days? Yeah. So sub $1,000. It would have been nice. They used to be like $600, $650. But I mean, I'm still seeing a 357 16-inch blued with a wood stock, $725. Henry Golden Boy. Again, if you're looking for a fun little gun that is not expensive to shoot, boom. How many people learn to shoot on a rifle either like that or that model? Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Henry repeating arms side gate. This is one where I'm kind of surprised it made the list over some of its competitors. But there you go. And then pump action. Let's keep in mind, when we moved from bolt actions down to lever and then pump, we have dropped an order of magnitude in sales volume. The lever actions, they sell quite a few of, and right now they're a hot trend, but comparatively small market. The pump actions, little thin sliver of the market, massively smaller. Remington, Rossi, Henry. The Henry, I am kind of surprised. I didn't even know they made the pump, but it doesn't surprise me that if they do, it made the list and was high up on it. The Rossi Gallery, kind of surprised it made the list just because the number one buyers for these, why would they be using GunBroker? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but maybe somebody had a bunch and they put them on GunBroker and sold them. The Remington 7600, if you're looking for a deer gun and you want a fast follow-up without going way off target, or having to take your hand off the stock, hard to beat. Remington 572, same thing. And Remington 7615 is like the tactical version of the 7600. If you live in a state where you can't have an AR-15 or any other semi-automatic rifle, or it's just very tough, you would have a hard time saying that the 7615 is not a good choice. So that's it. I don't know if you have any interest in this kind of format or not. It was just something that was an easy video to do that was interesting to me. I thought it was very interesting to see what was there. And I will probably continue this series month after month, but looking at what changed, because it will be interesting to see how this list changes over time. So take care, have fun, stay safe, keep shooting.